The online world can be very daunting for a lot of us with Twitter, YouTube and Facebook. Where are we meant to start? Thankfully, you don't have to take this step alone. We're joined today with a Brisbane-based business coach, Brian Brown, founder of Better Business Now. Thanks for joining us, Brian.
Thanks, Ashley.
So we hear a lot of talk about being online. Let's set this up for today's program. How important is it, from your perspective, about a business being online?
Yeah, sure. Look, very good question. If you asked me this question 5 years ago, I would have said not very important. Today is a real different story. It's a funny situation where people actually judge your business by looking at your website. So you could actually have a really good business and a bad website, and they'll judge your business as bad. And obviously the opposite, where you have a really good business, a bad business and a good website, and they judge you as being very good.
Now, we're talking about a website. That's one aspect of the deal. But now, of course, social media tools have also come in.
Sure.
How important are those things?
We have Facebook, we've got Twitter, LinkedIn. Again, from just very generic, as you can appreciate, each individual case you need to look at. To me, it's about return on investment. It's about what works. Social media, at this stage, it's very hard to quantify a return on investment generically.
And I guess that's a real key to this stuff too, Brian, in the sense that people could, I guess, fall into the trap of feeling like if they hear colleagues having these kind of tools, then they better have them. But is it important for people to actually stop and ask, why am I using these tools?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And what are some of the key questions that they need to go through? Like, let's go back to a website. Is it about information, or are we now at a point where people need to transact on that website?
Okay, again, depending on the business. I believe it's about information. Just say we look at someone like a bricklayer or a bricklaying company. Again, they should be have on there about what they do, maybe some testimonials, obviously an easy way to contact them. Again, if we look at someone who's a retailer, again, they would need a shopping cart, and again, a completely different setup.
And I guess one of the things too about being online is, on the other side of the fence, we as consumers are now far more informed because we can get online and check out a whole range of products. But are we, in your opinion, still wanting to go in and touch that product and take a look at it physically in the store?
Sure. Look, I personally believe that there's certainly a good portion of people that do want to go and do a face-to-face. If we like it or not, we are getting pushed that way where it's more online now. And look, that does suit some people who are busy and people who don't want to interact. But there is a good portion of people who still want to do that face-to-face. And again, a website is a backup for that as well.
Are you finding that when we talk about online businesses, that they are, because my understanding is that there's a lot of what we probably would typically call cottage-based businesses or home-based businesses who are now establishing it as an online. It cuts down the overhead costs. I mean, a tremendous savings that can occur, but also obviously the need to make sure that site works and that you really know what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the small retailers can compete with the big retailers, and as you said, they don't need bricks and mortar. They can get online, and you can do it very cheaply these days. There is no cost options out there, and you can go the other extreme where you can pay thousands of dollars for.
Do you find that when you're dealing with business people, particularly in your coaching work and mentoring, that there are businesses who are resisting it? I mean, is there a group out there who say, why do I have to do this?
Yes, there is. Like any type of thing, there's always some resistance there.
And are they completely foolish in resisting it? Because there's the wave that forces us to do this, but is it actually really making sense for all businesses?
I believe they should be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They need to, in some sort of form. If that might be a small site or complex site, again, depending on the business. It's part of the marketing mix. So having a website's not be or end all unless you have a solely online business, but it needs to be part of your marketing mix.
And it does suggest the kind of departure from the mainstream media, but I would suggest that probably would be done at a business's own peril if they walked away from traditional newspaper, radio or television advertising.
It does. But again, it comes back to return on investment. If your newspaper is working for you, stick with your newspaper. If it's not, look for something else. Same with your website. If you spend $1 on it and you make $1.01, it's a good investment. If you spend $1, you make 99 cents, that's a cost. I'd be looking at how to make that more effective or look at something else.
Now, is it wise for people to go and get products like WordPress and Ning and the whole range of other ones that are out there and do it themselves, or is it a better investment to actually go and hire someone in to do this kind of web development?
Sure. My personal opinion is to hire someone to do it for you. Because again, if you do it yourself, it's just going to look like you do it yourself. And it comes back to what we were saying before, the credibility factor. If it looks bad, they will judge you as bad.
And I guess it also comes down to if you're dealing with the sales of product, or if you're actually delivering a service, and the different platforms that are required for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Each individual case has that service or products, different types of setup.
Sure. Okay. Well, it's been very insightful. Thank you for sort of stepping us through a little bit of the background to and some opening some thoughts about this, because it's a big topic and we've only can touch on a little bit. And it is important for you to remember too that our advice on the program today, you really do need to seek your own professional input into how you deal with this particular issue for your own business. But for now, Brian, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Ashley.
That's Brian Brown from Better Business Now. We'll be right back with this online edition of Good Business.